Hey everyone, time for some more fun with members of the Florida Powerboat Club. This is Stu Jones, and we are bringing you the final episode featuring the 26th annual Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run from Destin, Florida, presented by Mercury Racing, our main sponsor, and the partner with us on the all-new Project 1080 cigarette, and Off Lease Only, who have helped us out with a brand new 2018 Camaro as our grand prize here for this Emerald Coast Poker Run. And thanks to Emerald Coast Harley-Davidson for this first place prize, a 750 Harley-Davidson street motorcycle. And it's been a few weeks since we've had an episode, so let's just check back and on our previous episode with some of the highlights of this Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run, which has about 100 registered teams. And you may recall, if you saw this episode, we had a new addition to our checkpoints here with this work of art, 92 Viking, checkpoint number 2 actually here at the east end of the Poker Run course. A lot of big equipment like the Team Black Diamond 52-foot MTI and this 40-foot MTI that came from Texas to join us. A lot of heavy artillery, a lot of fast boats on this run, including this SV-43 Outer Limits from Georgia, and of course the lovely FPC girls. There's Andrea and Kayla at one of our checkpoints handing the cards off, and for the first time in a while, I even got a chance to hand off a few poker cards with my captain John Reinhold at the helm of his 33-foot Ocean Hawk, who joined us in support of the event to help us out. We had a great day on the water. It started out a little rainy and overcast in the morning, but it cleared up through the day, and I think that we can all agree it was a wonderful day of boating here in the Florida Panhandle. Checkpoints that range from Sandestin all the way to Pensacola. And back now Saturday evening as we prepare for the big Saturday night Poker Run party right here at the Emerald Grand and Harbor Walk Village. Poker Run headquarters for this event now for several years, but it was the very first time that we contained all of the Poker Run activities to this venue, including AJ's Destin, which is right next door. We had all the parties right here on property, so you could roll into town on Wednesday and never have to drive your car for 4 days. The Emerald Grand staff did an amazing job preparing a wonderful party for us, so let's go into the party and check it out.
Hey, welcome everybody to Emerald Grand Ballroom and our gaming room. This is where all the money is going to be made tonight for our charities. I want to welcome our charities here tonight. Aliqua Animal Rescue, Fisher House, and Food for Thought. Let's give it up for our charity volunteers tonight, everybody.
And we had a lot on our agenda here in the gaming room at the Emerald Grand Ballroom. And one of the things was the silent auction, of course. A whole bunch of great items that were donated to us. This Tesla electric car actually got about $2,000. But there were so many items here on the silent auction table, along with all of the awards that we have to present to our sponsors tonight. Of course, just around the corner, we had a dessert room. And you can just see by these images just how far the Emerald Grand staff went out of their way to pamper you guys and give you the VIP experience, because you're not going to see a dessert table like this anywhere. And they really outdid themselves, and I think we can all agree that the food was fantastic. Here's some of the food being served in the Harborview Ballroom, which I actually never even got into all night, but everyone told me the food was fantastic, and I really want to applaud the Emerald Grand staff, the catering staff, for doing such a wonderful job of hosting really a VIP event that took it over the top this year.
We got things rolling in the house here. We got people playing cards, playing out their hands. We got the charity people all here to talk about their great charities. We've got the video playing on the big screen. And we've got 27 auction items here. 27.
And time to join these lovely ladies, the FPC girls, on the gaming tables, doing a fantastic job. We really stepped it up a notch here, gave everyone a chance to play out their hands, and if they wanted to purchase extra hands, they could do so, and a lot of that money made its way to the charities at the end of the night. And we had a very successful fundraising activity. We'll share that with you a little later in the show. But check out these new poster boards that we made for every team. That allows every team to play their hands out, and they're allowed to play up to a maximum of 10 hands. And a lot of people played the full 10 because, let's face it, this is a high-stakes poker run. the winner is going to get a brand new Harley Davidson from the top hand, and that is sponsored by Emerald Coast Harley Davidson, who are here at the party, actually joined us, and they've been great supporters of this event for many years, so happy to have them back. Now remember, once you play your hands out, and then we do the first place prize, but we also pick the top 10 hands from across the board, and from those 10 hands we are going to create a final table where we're going to play straight poker, and that winner is going to take the grand prize, which is the 2018 Camaro from off lease only. So it's a pretty interesting format. Everyone seemed to like it. It gave us the opportunity to play out a lot of extra hands. I think that the FPC girls did a wonderful job of dealing the cards and giving everyone a chance to understand our program. And we kept all of the cards posted through the entire evening, so anybody that wanted to see the hands posted, there they were. So there was nothing concealed. Everyone could see the hands, and you knew what you were playing against. And that's something that we learned over the years that the participants like to see, so we changed it, and it was a big hit. And another big hit, of course, Ron Adams with his Elvis show, a popular entertainer from the area and a close friend of the Florida Powerboat Club since we've been coming here for almost 20 years. And in addition to the dozens of items on the silent auction tables, as well as the extra cash from the poker hands, we took time to do a live auction, which included a ride on the new Project 1080 cigarette, a 20-year-old cigarette resto mod project sponsored by Mercury Racing with twin Mercury Racing 540s. We had the boat on display out in front of the hotel, and we auctioned off 2 rides for people to join us on poker runs, which raised a total of $10,000 to support our charity. Thanks to those 2 individuals who purchased those, Brad Hancock as well as Dane Michael. Thanks, guys. That was a big help.
$56 to you, $55, $56 to you.
Gentlemen, save your money. Save your money. I'll do 2 packages. Whatever the bid you're at right now, I'll do 2. Just 5 each, we're there. Is that good? You're at 54? We're going to drop it to 5. Your first bid was 5? Let's leave it at 5. That's 2. Then we're way ahead of the game. 2 at 5. Thank you. Okay, we have got some great news here. We got a lot of help over on those final boards over there, those poker boards. Okay, Brad, come on up. Position number 10, $4,700 with the Brad Hancock from Georgia. Come on up, Brad. Position number 9 is going to go with a full house 5s over 10s. Tennessee Easy Money, Roger Henderson. Come on up. Yeah. Performance Boat Center. Who wants to play that hand out? Rusty, you made it to the final table, Rusty. Position number 7 with the full house 7s over 8s goes to David Spear and Distant Thunder. Number 6 with a full house of 8s over 7s goes to Team Booty Shaker, West Harlow. Team Booty Shaker. Position number 5 at the final table goes to Team Level 5, Tony, Eli. Tony, come on up. Seat number 4 goes to Team, is that Twin Derby? Seat number 4, Tim Manning. Seat number 3 is going to go to Team Say When, Jeff Schmidt with Kings and Threes. Seat number 2 is going to go to Michael Fitzpatrick. Throw it, Fitz. Where's Fitz? This is the big winner tonight. This is the top hand that Emerald Coast Harley Davidson 750 Street goes to Team Terrible. Jerry Swanson takes home the motorcycle. Jerry Swanson takes home the motorcycle with 4 9s over a jack. They have won the Harley Davidson motorcycle club, Emerald Coast Harley, 750 Street. There you go, guys. You guys can decide who's going to play. It's up to you guys. Thank you for being here. Keith, Jerry, thanks for all your support. So there's fresh decks coming in the meantime. In the meantime, we got a couple other things that we can address. And that is what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's talk about tomorrow. How many people feel like they didn't get enough helicopter time? Right? Oh, everybody, right?
Just one look into ourselves can make us feel good, can make us feel good. But we look outside, oh, we look in the past, and that's what we are, and that's what we are.
I really like this new format that we created for the Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run. It's the first time we've really done it like this, but I think everyone agreed it was a good format because everyone got a chance to play their cards out for a really decent prize. You know, first place, a brand new Harley Davidson from Emerald Coast Harley. And then to be able to sit down and do the final table is something that we've always done here at the Emerald Coast event. And everyone likes that format. It takes a while to do it. It does keep us there late at night, but you can see that everyone stuck around. And it really gets exciting at the end when you get down to the last 2 or 3 players, because you know that one of them is going to go home with that grand prize, a $25,000 value for a brand new 2018 Camaro. So there goes Rusty Williams from Performance Boat Center. He made it down to final 3. So that left Brad Hancock from Georgia and Jamie Manning, one of our local boaters, to square off for the final round. Then it got really exciting down to the final round when somebody tried to buy Jamie's seat for $8,500 and she wouldn't budge.
$50, we'll pay it in cash. He's going to give us a credit card. We're going to pay it out to you in cash.
Then a bid went for her seat up to $10,000 and she still wouldn't budge even if she took home $5,000 in cash from the table.
Final offer 10 for Jamie's seat. I know Brad won't sell it. It's 5 for the house and 5 for Jamie. That's all. She's not getting up. All right, you. Not getting up. I love it. She's not getting up.
Give her all aces, baby. You got more balls than most men.
That's the one, everybody. This is for the $25,000 off-lease only gift. The Camaro or the check, take your pick. The Camaro or the check, take your pick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row.
And with the final hands played out, it was Brad Hancock with a pair of queens that won him the grand prize in the $25,000 Camaro or the cash equivalent towards a car of his choice.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you, bro.
Stu, keep the car, and I'll donate another $5K to the cause.
Keep the car. Bradley Hancock just won it, and he gave it back to us. Now I'm going to say, Daryl, we need to auction this off. It's worth 25, we ought to get 25.
Sometimes you got to wonder why these evenings go so late sometimes, and there's an exact reason why. Thanks so much to Brad Hancock. He won the $25,000 Camaro or the cash equivalent in the form of a check. Brad donated it back to the charity, and that's when my buddy Daryl Turner from Texas stepped in and said, Stu, it's time to have a live auction, and that's exactly what they did. And that's when it really got to be fun. We had an auction going back and forth for a good 15 minutes or so.
Stu, he puts on a great event. He puts on a bunch of great events. So I am very proud to be associated with Stu and the Florida Powerboat. I'm involved in a lot of different clubs, but Stu does an excellent job. So y'all all pat him on the back. This is for charity. All right, some of it is for charity. Guidance counselor paid 26. Congratulations, Kenny Armstrong. Thank you. $26,000.
3 bidders altogether. Simon Williams, Cass Schubert, and Kenny Armstrong from Texas went back and forth. And in the final round, it was Ken Armstrong from Texas. Certainly not his first rodeo here at Emerald Coast, but he takes home the $25,000 Camaro, which he forfeited, and he said, you know what, I'll just take the check. And he turned around and he used that $25,000 towards a purchase of a Rolls Royce from Off Lease Only out of their West Palm Beach store. So the yellow Camaro was de-stickered and driven back to the dealership for somebody else to purchase. Sunday morning and time to recover from the hangovers, and there's no better way than to get out in a helicopter and fly around at 100 miles an hour at 10 feet off the water. So that's exactly what I found myself doing, flying one more time with Timberview helicopters in this R44, me in the front seat doing stills and Ryan in the back seat doing video, as we catch up one more time with Larry and Heather Montalero, who joined us in their 33 Fountain, smoke showing. I think you could pretty much guarantee that every Sunday is going to be a helicopter and this 35 Everglades piloted by Don Brady from Florida, Swamp Chomp 2, and that's because every year they show up. They got a good-looking crew on board as always, and we spend a little time with them with the chopper. It almost happens every year, almost like clockwork at 12 noon every Sunday after the Emerald Coast event. So great to have Donald back again. You always have an enthusiastic, spirited crew. And nice to see you guys out enjoying this perfect day to go boating, this final day of the Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run. And we're going to say hi to Kyle Fowler from Georgia one last time. He's been in a lot of the video coverage of this event, this patriotic 35-foot fountain called Team Badass It. And out of the 4 Bajas registered, well, here's 2 of them. Lee Jones in the foreground, Team 24-7 in his 27 Baja, running alongside with his buddy Brett David in La Vie Sucrée. And back in Destin now for their second year in a row, Craig and Paula Ackerman from Georgia, a 292 Formula, Team Alter Ego. And I guess that Alter Ego might be that Craig likes going super fast, and that's why he just bought a brand new 34-foot MTI with twin Mercury 400s. So they are going to be going really fast on the next poker run. Now let's say hi one more time to Scott and Monica James all the way from South Carolina with this 35-foot fountain, slippery when wet. And I would like to say this fountain is a fixture here on this event. More than a decade of attending, and I've watched them make this a family weekend year after year. I practically watched their kids grow up on this poker run after all these years, so great to have them back. And probably the biggest outer limits here on the event, Octavio and Karen Valdivia from Georgia also have a home in Pensacola. This 51 outer limits, Blue Bayou, got some big motors, 1350s, and Scott Mander, the crew chief, taking care of her. That's a lot of work to maintain about that big. And a big shout out to Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department for having their waterborne patrol out to support the event year after year. Guys, thank you for your continued support. And let's make a big shout out to Blake and Angie Olson all the way from Texas in this 35-foot Cafe Racer. 1989 year, that's got to be a classic. 2-pack habit. It's first time here on the Emerald Coast Poker Run. They said they had a great time. It was an incredible week, and they will be back. Well, guys, I'm going to hold you to it because I'm going to bring my cigarette back this year. I'm going to actually put it in the water, and we can run alongside and have some fun. Let's welcome back John and Connie Family from Georgia. 34-foot Sensation CCX center console, a triple Mercury 400Rs. It's a long way from a Power Quest, which became a Baja, which became an Outer Limits, and now it morphed into this really sexy-looking center console. Now let's say hi to Greg Bent, and his crew came from Metairie, Louisiana. A big boat dealer there, Bent Marine, and this is Hellbent. It's Nortec's newest addition to their fishing lineup called the Superfish 452, 5 Mercury Racing 400Rs, and Greg's little signature touch is that tuna tower up on top. Doesn't get much better than this, guys, if you want to go out and do some serious offshore fishing. And I want to thank Greg and his crew for being such great supporters of this event. They told us in their video bio that they had a blast as usual, and they could never imagine ever missing the FPC Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run. Now let's welcome Neil and Cindy Camel. Came all the way up from the southwest coast of Florida to join us with their new 42 Mystic center console. They were able to get the boat trailered up here to Destin to try this out for the first time. They said they loved it, and they're coming back in 2019. Now let's welcome back, after many years of attending and very loyal to the Nortec brand, Don and Alice Lightfoot from Texas. They've started out with a 36 Super Cat. That became a 43 Cat. Now it's this big 52 Roadster powered by Mercury Racing 1550s. It's a beast, and it goes very fast. But it looks like they're just enjoying a nice cruise over the bay waters today. And here's another team who come back year after year. Jim and Lynn Archambault from Georgia, who have also purchased a condo here over the years, so they spend a lot of time here in Destin. And they have gone from the performance lifestyle. First they were in a Nordic 35, then they went to a Nordic 42. They segued over into a center console, a 34 Sensation, for a few years. But I think Jim's got a little bit of high-octane fuel in his blood, and he decided they wanted to go fast again. So they picked up this Outer Limits SV43. It's powered by Ilmores. It's a very, very fast ride. We were able to catch up with them just at the right time so they could set up this shot, and look at this beast run. Let's say hi one more time to Tim and Jamie Manning and their 42-foot cigarette. Remember that it was Jamie who was at the poker card table last night, made it to the final round up against Brad Hancock. So she could have been $5,000 richer today. That would have been a lot of fuel in the tank, right, Tim? But no, she stuck it out, and she was in it to win it last night. But you know what? Who cares? It all went to charity. And here they are now enjoying a ride on their 42 Tiger. And in the last day of the run, after a fantastic 5 days of the Emerald Coast Powerboat Week. Well, if you want to see unique powerboats, you came to the right place. Emerald Coast Powerboat Week here does that every year after year. This nasty, we saw a lot of it in a previous episode, and for those of you who have been around this event for years, this boat has been here many, many times. Twin V12 Lamborghinis, that's why we call it the Buzzin' Dozen, and he's on the throttles, and he's giving it one last ride before he heads back to the ramp and trailers home to East Peoria, Illinois. And now we finally caught up with Michael Fitzpatrick from Louisiana. He's a career boater, actually a captain, a port pilot back in Louisiana, and spends his weekends a lot of time here in Destin because they have a place here. And of course, here comes Kenny Armstrong to steal the show. Why? Because that's what he does. He's got a 48 MTI. And with that last little bit of helicopter time that we've got, I told everybody if they wanted to get some shots out in the Gulf, to head for the Gulf, and that's exactly what we've done. We chased down Greg Bent one more time, but this time we're going to put a little bit of air under that big V-bottom as Greg pushes the throttles and breathes some life into that 2,000 horsepower hanging off the back of this 45-foot Nortec. And I want to thank Greg because Bent Marine just announced their sponsorship of the upcoming Orange Beach Powerboat Week, hosted by The Wharf in Orange Beach, Alabama.
Nothing left to lose, the road is open, the horizon behind you. The horizon behind.
And one more time with Scott and Monica James from South Carolina. And one thing that they do love to do is get out here in the Gulf waters and push the throttles forward. And that's probably why I have more pictures of this boat than any other boat on this Emerald Coast event. On board with them today, Nick James, their son, along with his fiancée Mariana. And as I mentioned earlier in the show, they have made this event and many other poker runs that they join a family affair, and I think that's what's great about the James family. You know, and I can't ever imagine them selling this boat because they've got so many stories to tell about all the fun they've had with their family. Putting on a great show here to wrap things up on the 2018 edition of Florida Powerboat Club's Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run. Love you guys. I can't think of a better way to end this fantastic event here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I can only hope that you guys somehow find a way to come back and join us again in 2019. Well, this is the part of the show where I just don't like saying goodbye, so let's do a quick recap and make a shout out, first of all, to Stephen and Kelly Marino and DCB Racing for this brand new 35 that made the event. Of course, our lovely FPC girls led by Kayla Campbell. Thursday, we went out for that fun run to Lulu's in Destin at Legendary Marine, and thanks to all the gang at Legendary for rolling out the red carpet. We had a lot of help down in the docks to help us get tied up, and the servers were ready for us, and I think it's the first time I've eaten there in probably 2 years, and I think we all had a wonderful lunch. So that was a nice addition to the Thursday agenda. We're going to probably do that again. Of course, Thursday night there at Harbor Walk Village, they have the air show going on and the all-new format of the Miss Powerboat Week contest at Crab Island Cantina, which featured a dozen lovely ladies, all hand-picked, of course, but a special shout-out to Kayla Campbell for organizing this event. It was a big hit with everybody, and we want to congratulate the winners. Friday Fun Run to Juana's was also a big part of the agenda, as it always has been, but it seemed really cool because the new format allowed for us to have a real VIP experience, and the entire lunch was sponsored by George Ariano and Phantom Powerboats, so that was a great addition to the agenda. Friday night, we returned once again to AJ's in Destin. Thanks to Alan Laird and Rachel and all of their staff for really rolling out the red carpet as they always have. But once again, remember, we took it to a new format, and we created the VIP experience once again, where we had the entire area reserved for the club members. Saturday Poker Run got up to a little bit of a soggy start early in the morning, but by about 11 o'clock or so, all the boats were back out on the waterways, and we had our Poker Run course wide open all the way from Sandestin at the east end of the course to Pensacola Beach at the west end of the course. Saturday evening, the Emerald Grand staff pulled all the stops with a lavish dinner at the Harborview Ballroom and a festive party at the Emerald Grand Ballroom here, where 10 players faced off for the final round, and a total of $70,000 was raised for 4 local charities. We hope you enjoyed this feature coverage of the 26th annual Emerald Coast Powerboat Poker Run, where we brought back the VIP experience for members of the Florida Powerboat Club. Special thanks to all of our sponsors, including Mercury Racing, our presenting sponsor, along with our grand prize sponsor, offleaseonly.com, with that 2018 Camaro, and our first place sponsor, Emerald Coast Harley Davidson, who provided that brand new 750 Street Harley Davidson motorcycle. Remember that the 2019 edition of the Emerald Coast Powerboat Week returns to Destin August the 14th to the 18th. All of the details are already listed on the club website, and you can start your registration now because we're already making reservations at Emerald Grand and getting docking lined up for everyone. Be sure to catch all of our episodes here on YouTube. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel Florida Powerboat Club, and you can click on the notification bell so you receive notifications of all upcoming shows. We do about 2 to 3 a week, so that'll keep you pretty busy here on YouTube. Remember to find us on Facebook at Florida Powerboat Club, and we do have our own Emerald Coast page also on Facebook. Same thing with Instagram. In addition to our normal pages, Emerald Coast Powerboat is our Instagram page. For all the details about upcoming events, you can go on the club website at flpowerboat.com. Thanks for watching. This is Stu Jones. Remember to keep your powerboating safe and always wear your life jacket. See you next time.